Here he goes.
Spotlight on Joey. Oh! Yeah, baby! Working the crease, oh yeah! Oh, somebody's been practicing.
And here comes Berger's famous move.
The signature dive!
It's July 11, 2011, and on a hot summer day, the Major League Lacrosse All-Star Game happens. Participating in the All-Star Game was an 8-year-old named Joey Spallina, and he helped an All-Pro MLL player Steven Berger with one of his trick shots. And although he was just an 8-year-old, we're already light years ahead of plenty of high schoolers. This moment on national television wasn't too big for him. In fact, he thrived with all the eyes on him. Fast forward 4 years later to August 9th, 2015, when a 12-year-old Joey Spallina would be playing 2 years up his age for Team 91 Long Island in the World Series of Youth Lacrosse. Team 91 won the entire tournament, and Joey Spallina, Andrew McAdory, and Brennan O'Neill were all on that team. Now, Brennan and Andrew aren't relevant to this story, but they went on to be the #1 recruits in the class of 2020 and class of 2021, respectively. And as just a 6th grader, Joey is one of the best players on this already stacked team. And this World Series of Youth Lacrosse game was one of the most televised lacrosse games of all time. And once again, Joey Spallina showed that he thrived with all the eyes on him. Fast forward 4 years later in the spring of 2019, when as a freshman, Joey Spallina put up 131 points to be second in all of Suffolk County and Long Island in points as just a freshman. He was an All-American that season, and he was already one of the best high school players in the nation. He was also the first freshman in Long Island to ever be an All-American. Then fast forward a year later to August 31st, 2020, when Ty Zanders of Inside Lacrosse ranked Joey Spallina as the #1 recruit in the class of 2022. The lacrosse world knew Joey Spallina was extremely special. Then fast forward just 2 weeks later on September 15th, when Joey Spallina broke the lacrosse world and verbally committed to play at Syracuse. Not only did he commit to the Orange, but it was reported that he was next in line to wear the storied number 22, the most iconic number in lacrosse worn by some of the game's legends like Gait and Mikey Powell. He said, "Being given the chance to wear 22 and play in the Dome was something that I've been dreaming about since I was a kid. Obviously, it was a pretty tough choice to choose a college, but I think I made the right one. Let's get to work." Then fast forward to June 19th, 2021, where Joey Spallina drilled the game winner to help his school Mount Sinai win the Long Island Class C championship game against Manhasset. He finished the season with 121 points, and Syracuse head coach Gait was in attendance to celebrate with him. And fast forward to January 13th, 2022, when Joey inked a 4-year deal with Gait Lacrosse, becoming the youngest player to ever receive a brand deal, one that he got before he ever stepped on a college campus. And then fast forward to June 3rd, 2022, when Joey Spallina broke the Long Island record for the most points of any high school lacrosse player ever with 501 points, passing the decade-old record of former pro lacrosse player Nicky Galasso. Joey broke the record while putting up 8 points to defeat Shoreham-Wading River to win back-to-back county titles. Then fast forward to July 30th, 2022, when Joey scored 4 goals and 2 assists to win MVP at the Senior All-American Game, the most prestigious high school all-star game in all of lacrosse. He put up 6 points against the best of the best, and he made the game look easy. And then fast forward to August 2nd, 2022, when Spallina was named the Boys Lacrosse Player of the Year by USA Today, solidifying him as the best lacrosse player in the entire nation hands down. Joey Spallina has done it all, from an 8-year-old on SportsCenter at the MLL All-Star Game, to breaking every lacrosse record possible, 2 county championships and countless MVP awards. We've really never seen a lacrosse player this decorated before entering college lacrosse. Now, Joey Spallina is headed to Syracuse to see if he can return a historical powerhouse back to its former glory. So today, I want to explore the truth behind Joey Spallina. How did he become one of the most impressive lacrosse recruits ever? And what does his future look like in the sport for years to come? I'm giving away a free ECD lacrosse hat if you sign up for the waitlist for Lax Now, the exclusive lacrosse community that I'm building. And we already have over 300 lacrosse players on the waitlist. And we'll have our own group chat, weekly film breakdowns, and live streams so you can become an elite lacrosse player. You can join the waitlist for Lax Now if you click the link in the description and put in your email. I'm excited to see you there. So to understand how Joey Spallina reached these gigantic heights of lacrosse, we have to rewind to his childhood. Joey is the son of Joe Spallina, one of the most influential figures in the lacrosse world. Joe is the head coach of the Stony Brook women's lacrosse team, and he was also the head coach and GM of the New York Lizards, a team in Major League Lacrosse. So Joey grew up on the sidelines and practices of MLL games, and it was there that he laid the foundation for his his lacrosse game. He had unlimited access to guys like Paul Rabel and Rob Pennell, so he was literally learning the game from the best lacrosse players in the world. It's like being LeBron James' son growing up learning the game from Dwayne Wade and Kyrie Irving. His uncle is also Brian Spallina, a longtime pro lacrosse player who still holds the record for the most pro championships with 7. So long story short, lacrosse runs in Joey's blood. Tom Zumo, a top lacrosse coach, said about Joey, "You would see Joey in the boxing gym, strength and conditioning, outside on his bounce back. He is one of those boys who is just wired differently. Most kids are concerned about their social life. Joey is more concerned about being the best version of himself." His high school coach at Mount Sinai said, "Many may think Joey is a natural, someone who is just born with it. This is not the case. Joey is the hardest worker I have ever coached." So Joey not only has the natural ability, but he also has the work ethic and exposure to some of the game's best players to back it up. The combination of these 3 things has turned Joey Spallina into a lacrosse legend. But now Joey enters Syracuse at an unprecedented time for the Orange. It's been a historically bad past decade for Q's, where they've only made 1 Final Four in the past 10 years and didn't win a championship. They're coming off a 4-10 season and finishing the season unranked, the first time that's happened since 1975. They also recently went through a massive coaching change, snagging the game's greatest player of all time and Syracuse alum Gary Gait. And for his assistant, they got longtime Johns Hopkins head coach and the game's greatest defender of all time, Dave Petramala. Together, these two make the most electric pairing of D1 lacrosse coaches in the game right now, and they're looking to turn Syracuse back around. There are a few areas of Joey's game that I think really stand out above everything else, and here's why I think he's a perfect fit for Syracuse. First of all, his confidence is through the roof. As you can see, the spotlight has been on this man for so long, and he's not afraid to have all eyes on him. That's exactly what Syracuse has been missing on offense. They've had plenty of talent, but they need a commander who can single-handedly take over a game when he needs to. I don't think that there's a high school or college player on earth right now who could be more qualified to handle the pressure. Syracuse has a massive alumni base who's also very vocal and not afraid to put pressure on players. And I think that one of Joey's superpowers is taking that pressure and turning it into greatness. The next area that Joey shines is his physicality. He operates much like a post in basketball, getting to the island and pulling out every trick in his bag. He's got an incredible question mark. He can finish topside if you give him room, or he might just stick it between the legs or behind the back before you even know it. And that leads me to my next point, his vision. If you start pressing out on Joey and prevent him from scoring, he's more than happy to start wheeling and dealing to the rest of his teammates. He's actually racked up 225 goals and 276 assists in high school, so he had even more assists than goals in his career. He's the complete dual threat package, and I think that's what makes him really difficult to stop. It would also be foolish if I didn't mention the rest of the Syracuse recruiting class coming in. In years past, Syracuse has missed out on some of the top recruits, but this year, things look a little bit different. The Orange bring in 8 absolute studs, including 5 4-star recruits and 4 4-star recruits. They're getting the cream of the crop in terms of recruiting this year, and you could definitely make the argument that they're the #1 incoming freshman class in the nation. Joey will also be joined by his brother Jake, a 4-star recruit in the class of 2023, so we could see 2 Spallinas on the field at once at Syracuse. If Syracuse wants to get back to being a top team in college lacrosse, Joey Spallina will almost certainly have to be a big part of that comeback. With a loaded recruiting class, a brand new coaching staff, and a ton of hype, the Orange future is looking promising. I don't think any of us would be surprised to see him in a PLL and Team USA uniform soon, and the sky is truly the limit. I don't think we've ever seen a lacrosse player accomplish this much at such a young age, and I'm excited to see what's to come. This was so much fun to make, and I read every comment, so let me know down in the comments what you want to see next. I'm Jake with Lax Weekly. I want you to go check out Lax now, and I'll see you next time.